Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This government is delivering the biggest changes to the welfare state in a generation. We are building a benefit system fit for the 21st century, helping more people into work by providing tailored support and more financial support for the most vulnerable. These changes are designed to not only reflect the technological age we live in, which is having a significant impact on work and communications, but also to reflect people's working lives. We are providing extra support for childcare costs and offering flexibility to look after children or elderly parents. Our reforms take into account flexible working, self-employment, multiple jobs, the gig economy and societal changes, in particular the growing awareness of mental health conditions, which is strongly linked to the changing pace of life and the barrage of constant communications. And we are succeeding in our aim to reshape the system and provide for the most vulnerable. So far, Mr. Speaker, we have supported nearly 3.4 million more people into work since 2010. That's over 1,000 people a day, every day since 2010, producing a record rate of people into work and the lowest unemployment level since the 1970s. And we are also spending £54 billion on benefits to support disabled people and people with health conditions. This is up £9 billion since 2010. We are also supporting a record 600,000 disabled people enter work over a 4-year period. Universal Credit is a brand new benefit system. It is based on leading-edge technology and agile working practices. Our strategy is based on continuous improvement, listening, learning and adapting our delivery as the changes roll out across the country. The result will be a tailor-made system based on the individual. This is a unique example of great British innovation. And, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we are leading the world in developing this kind of person-centred system. Countries like New Zealand, Spain, France, Canada have met with us to see universal credit, to watch and learn what is happening for the next generation of benefit system. And let's not forget, we are introducing this system because the legacy regime it replaces was outdated, not only in terms of an ageing IT infrastructure that was built in the 1980s, but also in the way it trapped people in unemployment and disincentivised work. I would like now to turn to the report on universal credit published last week by the National Audit Office, which did not take into account the impact of our recent changes. Our analysis shows that universal credit is working. We already know it helps more people into work and stay in work than the legacy system. Universal Credit has brought together 6 main benefits which were administered by different local and national government agencies. Once fully rolled out, it will be a single streamlined system, reducing administration costs and providing value for money for all our citizens. The cost per claim has already reduced by 7% since March 2018 and is due to reduce to £173 by 24-25. This is around £50 less per claim than the legacy cases currently costs us to process. Beyond the time span of the NAO report, we have greatly improved our payment timelines. Around 80% of claimants are paid on time after their initial assessment period. When new claims are not paid in full and on time, 2/3 have been found to have some form of verification outstanding. And verification is a necessary part of any benefit system. And citizens expect these measures to be in place. We need to ensure we are paying the right people the right amount of money. Upon visiting job centres, the NAO observed good relations between work coaches and claimants. The results, we are saying, are thanks to the exceptional hard work of our work coaches that they put in, day out with claimants. UC is projected to help 200,000 people into work, adding £8 billion per year to the economy when it's fully rolled out. These are conservative estimates based on robust analysis that have been signed off by the Treasury. And at a user level, we know 83% of universal credit claimants are happy with the service they receive. In conclusion, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we are building an agile, adaptable system fit for the 21st century. We want people to reach their potential regardless of their circumstances or background, and we will make changes when required in order to achieve this ambition. I commend this statement to the House. They talk about poverty figures. When we look at poverty figures, compared to 2010, when they were last in office, there are now 1 million fewer people in absolute poverty. Rates of material deprivation for children and pensioners have never been lower. Inequality has fallen and remains lower than in 2010. And if you look at the latest figures out this week, inequality actually, because of our benefit and tax changes, have reduced by 2/3 in the last year. I wish they would keep up to the rapidly changing of things that are happening. And we also talk about we are helping more people into work. Again, we know over 3.2 million more people in work. How much evidence do you need, for heaven's sake? We know it's 1,000 jobs every day since 2010. Support is there. Now we put advances there. And it was key that we made those changes in the last budget. We knew if people were having difficulty with this benefit, which was there to support people, we had to make those changes. And that was about advances. That was about having a 2-weekly run-on for their housing benefit. That was about stopping those waiting days. That is key. And now we're finding out 4% of people are moving quicker into work at 6 months. 50% of people spend more time looking for work. These are the realities of life. And what I will do, Mr Deputy Speaker, please allow me just to do these, because these are real people who I meet and speak to, and this is what they are saying about universal credit. Shafiq was homeless, and he said, I got an advance that got me temporary accommodation, got me into a better place to look for work. And you know what? It just helped me out so much. I would have been lost without it. He's now in a job. Lisa said, an advance payment helped me secure a place with my childcare provider. I'm paying it back over 12 months, but this has meant a great deal to me. Gemma, a lone parent, said, it is amazing being able to claim for nearly all my childcare costs. It's a real incentive to go out to work. I am going to be better off each week. Ben in Devon had a working coach, how it had helped him progress in work. From day one, his work coach had helped him. Ryan from Essex, a lack of work experience, a lack of confidence. His work coach helped him through universal credit. I will end it there with the people who are using the benefits.
The NAO report, I think, is, frankly, a shoddy piece of work. It has simply failed to take... No, genuinely, anyone that reads it, and I don't know if they do bother to read it on the other side, the reality is that anyone that reads it realises they failed to take account of a whole series of issues, not least of which were the Treasury signed-off figures about savings, 8 billion recurring a year, and, more importantly, the changes made last November, will actually have made a huge difference to people's lives. I would urge her to carry on and say to the Public Accounts Committee they really do need to ask the question, who really polices this policeman, because this piece of work does them no credit at all. I would ask her simply, now can she place her efforts on universal support to make sure that every council area delivers the extra bit that's supposed to go alongside universal credit?
I want to thank my right honourable friend, who has done more than most people in this House to support people into work. And what he is doing now is emphasising the point of that universal support, 200 million that local councils have got, that should be helping people with debt management, with IT, and that is one thing we're definitely doing it. And equally, he raised an important point about the NAO report, and I'm sure the opposite benches haven't read it, because it doesn't say stop the rollout. It says continue with the rollout and do it faster. Please read about stuff before talking about it.